Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to patch day for a new milestone and a dev blog and 2 new divisions. And that's a lot of videos to make, so where do we start? I won't put everything in one video because it'll be too long, so let's do the dev blog and the patch notes back to back, and then we'll do a video looking at the British and then the French. The British coming first because it's me and I'm British. Now, honestly, I was kind of surprised that we were getting the patch today as well. I thought they'd be waiting till next week after the normal Friday dev blog, but that's fine. More work for me today. So, let's have a little history lesson. If one digs deep, the 1st Armoured Division of the British has a pedigree that extends back to World War II, starting life as a mobile division. However, this formation was renamed, reformed and reconstituted countless times. The original formation served with distinction from the Battle of France in 1940 to El Alamein in 1942, before being deployed to Italy to fight until 1945. Before the war was over, the division's forces were scattered before being officially disbanded. The 1st Armoured Division gained a second lease in life in the 1960s when it was formed part of the British Army of the Rhine. The formation belonged to Northag Area of Responsibility, the 1st British Corps located somewhat to the north of Sentag sector of Western Germany. Much like other NATO forces permanently stationed in West Germany, the 1st Armoured Division was a frontline division. A clear objective was to form behind a screen of friendly troops and repulse any Warsaw Pact advance into West Germany. The late Cold War 1st Armoured Division was a strong tank division with 3 armoured brigades and no infantry brigade. 2 of its armoured brigades were heavy brigades, 2 armoured regiments each with only 1 infantry regiment, and both had been converted to Challenger tanks by 1989. The last brigade was light, 1 tank regiment for 2 infantry regiments, and kept the older Chieftain main battle tanks, and that is a serious dose of heavy tank firepower. Now, they're saying what to expect in-game next, and that's going through all of the units, or most of the units, in a list. Obviously, later I'll be going through this in another video, actually looking at the units in-game, but I'll quickly run through this now. So first up is the Logistics tab. You get a Rover CP Command Jeep, the FV432 Command, the FV105 Sultan tracked CVs, and the supply units are a Bedford truck and Chinook helicopter. Infantry, once again, there's nothing too fancy for the Armoured Division. Infantry include the 8-man rifle squads with the L85A1 assault rifle, the L86A1 saw, and the Law 80 rocket launchers, deployable in the FV432 APCs. Also available are the 7-man arm rifle squads with the same small arms but carrying the M72 Law and being brought to the battlefield courtesy of the Warrior IFV. Other infantry units are the Assault Pioneers with the Carl Gustav or explosives, and they are delivered to the battlefield in an FV432 APC, as well as a 4-man gun group squad with 2 MAG medium machine guns in an APC or IFV. Continuing with infantry, the player can also field the Milan 1 and 2 ATGM teams with their own Spartan MCT transport, which is fast and small APC sporting twin Milan launchers. Buy one, get one free. Lastly, we also have a squad of Red Caps or RMP, the Royal Military Police, which is a 4-man patrol with Sterling SMGs, L1A1 SLR and a MAG machine gun. In terms of artillery, apparently the United Kingdom is the only NATO nation not to field a heavy mortar. That's why the 1st Armoured Division is restricted to the 81mm system, either on foot or a self-propelled version of the FV432 mortar. Heavier guns include the FH70 155mm howitzer, the FV433 Abbott 105mm, and the American-made M109A2 155mm SPGs. In terms of tanks, well, this is where the division shines. Get ready to deploy lots of Chieftain Mark 9s and Mark 11s as well as Challenger 1s. These main battle tanks are slow, sturdy and field powerful 120mm tank guns. This category also contains a Centurion Mark V AVRE, the British counterpart to the M728, featuring the same gun as the American unit but on an older tank chassis. Missile fielding tank destroyers include the FV438 Swingfire with dual launchers and plentiful ammo, and the FV102 Striker with 5 ready missiles but only 1 full reload. In terms of recon, the British were famous during the Gulf War, which in their version of history has been supplanted by World War III, for bringing World War II equipment to the battlefield, construction years 1952 to be exact, and that's why you'll play with a rather outdated ferret armoured car, which lacks any modern recon equipment and is armed only with a medium machine gun. However, it is fast, and its upper armoured cousin, the FV-721 Fox, is equipped with a Radin 30mm autocannon. Other recon units include the FV-101 Scorpion and the FV-107 Scimitar recon tanks, which are already available to the Belgians. This category also contains the M113 Green Archer with radar, and there will be infantry in the form of scouts in a Spartan Recon/Transport APC and Lynx helicopter. Cherry on the cake are the 4-man SAS patrol teams with their MP5SD SMGs. Keep an eye on these guys, you don't want them to get lost on the battlefield and spilling the beans in a highly successful book about their ordeal afterwards. You know, I can't remember the name of that book, but I know what they're getting at. In terms of AA, this is clearly the division's weakness, with meager anti-air defences such as the Javelin Manpad team, the Javelin LML, a 3-manpad grouped together as a light SAM battery, and the tracked Rapier self-propelled SAM. Once again, the Brits like to do things differently, as they never fielded a self-propelled anti-air gun, relying only on missile air defences. In terms of helos, there are very few slots that are cheap, with a choice of the anti-tank Lynx, Hellarm, in both TOW and ITOW versions, and the light Gazelle with the SNEB rockets. In terms of air, the RAF is out in force to give this division its top cover with generous amounts of slots and options. These range from various loadouts from the Harrier to the Jaguar GR1, Tornado F3 and the Tornado GR1 fighters and fighter bombers. Basically, there's a lot there, and we'll go into those in detail in the video later. And then they move on to talk about another new map, the Crown, which we'll be looking at in the patch notes in a moment anyway. But basically this is a new 10v10 battlefield. Crown, the map covers an area of 90 square kilometers with large urban areas. A defining feature of the new map is a substantial number of command zones. It looks absolutely insane. We're going to look at it shortly. Players need to dominate the battlefield, and to do that they need to keep up their advance step by bloody step. Taking control of many towns and villages as well as command zones will be key to victory. Despite some very obvious defensive positions, we included several open areas on the map offering clear lines of sight. Expect lots of varied gameplay. Okay, so let's now move on to the actual patch notes. I will take a brief look at the maps here, but at some point I will also do a video looking at detail at these new maps, in particular the nighttime one, because I want to see what all the ground stuff looks like in the buildings and things. So let's quickly brush over them for now. So this is the first map, which is the 3v3 Rift map, the nighttime one, and here's a little picture of it. You can marvel at that in your own time, and as I say, I'll look at it in more detail in the video later. And then there is this next one, which is Crown, the new 10v10 map, which looks absolutely insane with the amount of points it has on it. That is absolutely crazy, I'm sorry. How many? I mean, where do you even start with that? And then Giza has been the biggest map for some time, and they've made a little bit of a rework of it. As you can see from the GIF here, which I've slowed down a bit so it's not flashing quite as much. Basically, they were in a situation where there weren't many roads, and now there are roads. That's the mainstay of this. So all of those forest areas were just thick forest. Now they have lots of dirt tracks going through them, which is obviously an important change. Alright, let's move on to the actual patch notes. I haven't read these yet, so they're going to be interesting for me as well. So the first thing is new features. The new divisions are the 5th Armoured Division for the French and the 1st Armoured Division for the British. There is a new T-80U model. There are various new units which you will see in the fleshing out division section. Adding an auto supply smart order. A supply unit will then automatically move to resupply any friendly unit with under 30% ammo or having suffered a critical hit. Let's see how often the AI gets them destroyed by driving them into enemy fire. Next up, we've got added the 1038 Humvee troop carrier as a troop transport, replacing the M35 in the 82nd Airborne. So there are new effects for bombs between 400 and 900 kilograms, and new effects for the BM-21 Grad and the Lars, new infantry models for the KDA infantry. AI has been rebalanced. We've added more reconnaissance and defensive missions so that the AI will conquer land in a smarter way. New smart order is auto supply, as we've discussed. That's on there twice, guys. It's on there twice. AI will use seed-capable aircraft more appropriately. This is a work in progress. A better version is being worked on. AI on foot command units will wait until they are close to their target command zone before getting out of their transport. AI command units will follow the safest path when fleeing a lost command zone. Adjusted the camera settings in the armory. Hotkey more visible in the tooltip of orders. When displaying the unit info panel of a transport unit, you can now choose to see the information of either the unit or its transport. It was previously always the transport. Hallelujah, that's been annoying me for ages. Improved in-game unit labels, improved the multiple selection panel, bottom middle of the screen when having multiple units selected. And in the lobby, the red-green button is now clickable to toggle between ready and not ready states. Next up, we have a list of code fixes. They fixed transported reinforcing units not taking the existing orders from groups they join. Fixed the M551 Sheridan's HE gun, which was treated as artillery and not main gun HE. Fixed a display bug in the deck editor. 4 billion availability. What? Fixed unit labels not having the right color after loading a save game. Fixed helicopters sometimes getting stuck between the two shifted orders. Fixed infantry soldiers reviving at a position of their death instead of the current position of the unit when it's being resupplied. Fixed some dead soldiers being unloaded from transports when unloading a damaged infantry unit. Fixed the main menu not reappearing at the end of a replay if the UI was disabled when watching that replay. Fixed a bug on how AI evaluates the threat at the beginning of games and will play more carefully in the early game. Fixes general improvements on how AI manage aircraft. This impacts the auto-strike smart order. Fixed a random freeze in the sound engine when the game ends. Fixed 2 desyncs related to vision and destructed buildings. Fix ATGM hit rate being way too low against fast-moving vehicles. Fix sometimes not being able to join 10v10 servers. Well, that was a heck of a mishmash, and the next is probably no better. So next is data fixes. Fix the M109A2 salvo back to 4 rounds from 16. Fixed the Toad 2B9 Basilisk minimum range to match that of its MTLB Basilisk counterpart. Fixed some missing weapon pictures. Fixed the SPZ BMP1 SP1 MG ammo loadout. Fixed the Desant Commander's DSH ammunition loadout. Fixed the Schwim PZ PT76B's name. Removed the recon goggles. Fixed the T813 transport's autonomy. Fixed the issue with the DDR BTR-70 and the Soviet BTR-60PB and the BTR-80's influence reveal. Fixed an issue with the US Airborne's LDR and Green Berets LDR influence reveal. Fixed the DDR's T-72 localization, removed the G in their name, which was NATO's designation. Fixed a UI issue displaying kinetic trait on HE-only weapons. Fixed a loadout position on the F111F. And the 2PZG fixing some doublon transport. Where? I'm not even sure what that last one's getting at, but okay. Let's move on to the more important thing, which is fleshing out divisions. This is the good stuff. So adding a host of new units to existing divisions, the Leopard 2A4, the T-80UD, the RKHM, the Recon BMP-1, the Recon M113A1G, the T-80BK, the UAZ 469, the RM-70 cluster, the D-20 152mm howitzers, the UH-1D MUN, the Iltis Milan, the M981 FISTV, the M1A1 HACMD, and now we're going to see which divisions got what. So the 79th Division got the Mi-2 Recon helicopters. They got the RKHM, a Command MTLB. They got the TO-55 flame tank. They also replaced the BMP-1P with the RAS-V BMP-1P, a Recon Transport BMP-1, as a transport option for the Razvedka Heavy. They also got the UAZ 3151 KPV Recon Transport UAZ as a transport option for the Razvedka. The 39th added one card of Mi-2 Recon helicopters, one card of RKHM, a card of T-80BK, and replaced the BMP-1P with the RAS-V BMP-1P. as a transport option for the Razvedka Heavy. And they also got the UAZ 3151 KPV as a transport option for the Razvedka. The 35th got one card of Mi-2 recon helicopters. They got the BMP-1P replaced with the recon variant, and they got the UAZ recon variant as a transport option for the Desant Razvedka. The 4th MSD got one card of Jaeger. They get added the UAZ 469 KPV recon transport for the Alf Clara. They replaced the SPZ BMP-1 SP2 with the Aufkul BMP-1, which is recon transport for the Alf Clara Heavy. The 4th MSD also had a card of FLA rack Strela 10Ms replaced with one of the SPW 40P2 Strela 1s. The 7th PZ added the 469 KPV recon transport for the Alf Clara. The SPZ BMP-1P as a transport option for units already allowed with other BMP-1 variants, and replaced the SP BMP SP2 with the Alf Clara BMP-1 recon transport for the Alf Clara Heavy. They also replaced one card of FLA rack Strela 10M with one of the SPW 40P2 Strela 1s. Wow, this is all a bit of a tongue twister for me saying all of this in a row. So the KDA, they added one more card of the Mi-24P. They added a card of RM70HE and RM70 Cluster. They added one card of D20 152mm howitzers. They added one card of PALR Conkers, and they added one card of SPW 40P2 Conkers. The Terracudo replaced one card of the CH-53G Mun with one card of UH-1D Mun. They added a card of Iltis Milan, and they added one card of Alpha Jet Cluster. The 2nd Panzer Grenadiers, they added one card of Leopard 1A1A1 FUR, or Command. And they added the M113A1G AUF recon transport option for the Jaeger Aufkul. And the 5th PZ, they added the M113A1G Aufkul recon transport for the Jaeger Aufkul. They also added 2 cards of the AH-64 Apache rocket, and finally they added one card of the Leo 2A4. The 8th Infantry Division added the M113A1G Aufkul as a transport for the Jaeger Aufkul. They added one card of M981 Fist V as a recon vehicle. Note, it looks like the M901 ITW, but it is unarmed. Replaced one card of the OH-58C Scout with one OH-58D Kiowa. Same stats as the Kiowa WR, but armed with rocket pods. The 8th Infantry also got one card of the F111F LGB, that's laser guided bombs, so they carry a heavy payload. The 3rd AD added one card of the M1A1 HA Command, added one card of the M981 Fist V as recon vehicle, replaced one card of the OH-58 Scout with one card of the OH-58D Kiowa, and then the 82nd Airborne replaced one card of the OH-50C Scout with one card of the OH-58D Kiowa. Wow, that's a lot. Oh, it gets even better. Let's move on. There's been a massive helicopter HP rework, so they've all had their health points rebalanced. So now the Mi-26 is 15 HP, all of the CH-47s are 12 HP, all of the Chinooks are 12 HP, all of the AH-64A Apaches are 10 HP, the KA-50 is 10 HP, the Mi-24 is 10 HP, the Mi-9, 8 and 17 are 8 HP, the AH-1 Cobra is 8 HP, the UH-60 Blackhawk is 8 HP, the Puma is, or the Super Puma, sorry, is 8 HP, the UH Huey is 6 HP, the Puma Standard is 6 HP, the Lynx is 6 HP, the Mi-2 is 6 HP, the OH-58 is 4 HP, the Gazelle is 4 HP, the Alouette is 4 HP, the BO-105 is 4 HP, and the A6 Little Bird is 4 HP. Going to take a breath there. Okay, moving on. Artillery has again been reworked. So it improved howitzer power and rate of fire decrease and increased ammunition cost. MRLS rework, HE and suppressed splash radius and rate of fire raised. Hallelujah, they've fixed the MLRS hopefully. Let's question mark whether it still fires left to right. Testing is needed. Increased the 2S1 Grovodska price to 150. Increased the 2S3 Actasia to 180 plus an ammo decrease to 25. Increased the 2S7 Malka price to 270. Youch, that's expensive. Increased the M109 price to 200. The M110 price to 260. The FH155 price to 135. Increased the D20 price to 125 plus an ammo decrease to 32. D30 price has been increased to 130. The M106 price to 90, the M125 price to 80, the ABM30 price to 60, the Panzermörser price to 90 plus ammo decreased to 60, the HS30 Mörser price to 85, the MRS 120mm Tampella price to 45, and the 2S9 Nona price to 85 plus ammo increased to 30 apparently. Interesting. Wow, that's some big changes again to artillery. Some big price decreases, to be honest. But we're not done, folks. There is more to this patch. This is a heck of a patch list. So, generic. Improved AI handling of seed mission. We've kind of talked about that. Improved exceptional vision. That was a massively needed change to recon. Hopefully they'll keep looking at recon, but I'm pleased to see that change. Let's see how that translates in game. Unarmed transport helicopters can now be captured. Ooh, that is an interesting change. You don't want to lose those, they're worth a lot of money. Especially if you're planning to sell them afterwards, which you probably would be. All trucks' HP have been raised to 8 and road speed set at 100 km per hour. All M151 Jeep HP set at 4, UAZ Jeep set at 4, Iltis Jeep set at 4, and P4 Jeep set at 4. All Humvee heavy Jeeps HP is set at 6. The minimum price for APCs is now 20, only affects those that were still at 15. Normalized all BRDM variants HP at 8, some previously had 10. Normalized all FUX variants HP to 8. Normalized all BTR 60 and 70s variants HP to 8. Increased BTR 80s HP from 8 to 10. Normalized all M113 variants HP to 10. Increased all armored jeeps max damage to 6. I'm confused. Do they mean damage there or HP? All unarmed trucks price is from 15 to 20. All unarmed jeep prices from 10 to 20. So they've increased the prices of all the transports. Decreased flamethrowers, handheld and vehicle ones, aim time from 6 to 4, but reload time has been increased from 6 to 8. Swapped anti-helo and anti-plane ranges for all mono and twin 20 and 23mm AA guns. Decreased all AT teams, ATGM and recoilless rifle stealth by 1 level. And normalized supply and transport truck variant speed. Oh wow, I am getting very tongue-twisted as I continue in this. But it's not over, guys. We now have all of the NATO and then Pact changes to go through. Okay, I paused my recording and I had a moment to catch my breath and take everything in. Moving on to the NATO stuff, we have decreased all Milan 180 GM team price by 5, decreased the TOR2 accuracy from 70 to 65, decreased the Dragon 2's penetration from 19 to 18, decreased the Fireteam Law's price from 30 to 25, increased the Fireteam AT4's price from 25 to 30, increased the Fireteam Dragon's price from 40 to 50. Increased the AB Fireteam Dragon's price from 45 to 55. Increased the AB Fireteam's AT4 price from 30 to 35. Decreased the AB Engineer's availability per card from 9 to 6. Number of cards changed accordingly. Decreased all Stinger teams' availability per card from 9 to 6. Increased MP without recoilless rifles availability per card from 8 to 12. Converted Spartan into a recon transport, increased the M106A2 salvo from 4 to 5, added the AMX-10RC, their smoke launcher, increased the FUX price from 15 to 20, increased the M1A1 Abrams commands availability per card from 1 to 2, number of cards changed accordingly, decreased the Marder 1A2 price from 40 to 35, Decreased the Model 182 Milan's price from 50 to 45. Decreased the M60 A3 TTS price from 100 to 95 and CV variant accordingly. Increased the M3A1 Bradley price from 100 to 120. They really want to stop people bringing in that Bradley. Decreased the AH1F Tow Cobra's availability per card from 4 to 2. Number of cards changed accordingly. Decreased the AH1F Tow Cobra's price from 125 to 120. Increased the AH1F's ATAS from 125 to 135. Increased the AH1F Heavy Hog price from 70 to 100. Decreased the AH64A ATGM price from 330 to 295. Decreased the AH64's price from 265 to 260. Increased the AH64 Rocket's price from 120 to 125. Increased the F4F AA price from 145 to 155. Decreased the F15C Eagle's price from 280 to 275. Decreased the F4E AA price from 205 to 195. Decreased the A10 Rocket price from 200 to 175. Decreased the A10 AT's price from 220 to 195. Decreased the Alpha Jet Rocket's price from 150 to 120. Increased the EF111A Raven Seed price from 260 to 265. Increased the F104G Starfighter AA price from 115 to 125. Increased the F111E Napalm's price from 185 to 215. Increased the F111F Napalm's price from 185 to 215 as well. Decreased the F16C AT price from 270 to 245. Decreased the G91R3 Genus HE price from 85 to 80. Decreased the same plane's Napalm price from 140 to 115. That's a big drop. And the same plane in the Rocket variant price from 120 to 110. Decreased the Leopard 2A3's accuracy from 65 to 60%. The 70% displayed was a UI issue. Decreased the Tornado GR1 Seeds price from 305 to 295. Also decreased the Tornado IDS MW1 price from 300 to 295. Increased the Tornado IDS AT's experience from Vet 1 to Vet 2. Decreased all UH1's price variance by 10. Increased the Tornado GR1 Seeds optics to exceptional power with the other Tornadoes. Increased the M109 A3 GA1's price from 200 to 210. Normalized UK and Bell Scimitar autocannon ammo up to 160. Normalized the UK and Belgian Scorpion main gun ammo to 40. Increased both Belgian and British Sultan's price from 100 to 110. British Sultan's price was brought from 100 to 100, but its Belgian counterpart was forgotten. I think they mean 100 to 110. It will be fixed in the next patch. Oh, so they made a mistake there. They added a patch note under the other patch note to correct the previous patch note. Couldn't you have just edited the previous patch note, guys? Terracudo has removed one card of the CH-59G. The 5th Panzer changed helo slots from 2333 to 1234. The 5th Panzer changed 1-point tank slot to a 2-point tank slot. The 2nd Panzer Grenadiers increased the Leopard 2A3 fuzz number of cards from 1 to 2. The 3AD decreased the Engineer's Dragon number of cards from 3 to 1. The 3AD added the M1038 Humvee as a transport option for fire teams. The 8th Infantry Division added the M1038 Humvee as a transport option for fire teams. And the 8th Infantry Division decreased Engineer's Dragon's number of cards from 3 to 1. Wow, my voice is going to be completely gone by the end of this list. Let's move on to Pact. So, decreased the Metis penetration from 18 to 17, decreased the Malyuka piece penetration from 17 to 16, and accuracy from 45 to 40. Decreased the Motostrelki BMP's price from 45 to 40, increased the Motostrelki price from 40 to 45, increased Spetsnaz price from 50 to 55, increased Panzerjäger strength from 6 to 7 men, decreased the Reserve Pioneer's price from 25 to 20, decreased all Faggot ATGM team price by 5, increased the VPB's price from 20 to 15, decreased the DDR Pioneer Flams price from 60 to 55, increased the Sapri price from 40 to 50, decreased the Motsuchin price from 50 to 45, and also decreased the Motsuchin BTR's price from 55 to 50, increased all IGLA teams' price by 5, increased the SPZ BMP1 SP2's price from 30 to 35, decreased the KPZ T72G1's price from 160 to 150, increased the T72 GM Fuzz availability per card from 1 to 2, changed the T62 family's DSHK for KPV as a fitting model, decreased the BMD1 price from 30 to 25, decreased the BMD2 price from 35 to 30, decreased the BTRD robots price from 50 to 45, decreased the BTRD's price from 35 to 30, decreased the BTRZ Shkrizet's price from 55 to 50, increased the SPWBMP1's SP1's price from 20 to 25, decreased the BMP1 PG's price from 40 to 35, decreased all the T55A and TO55's price from 50 to 45, and the CV variant accordingly, decreased the T34/85's price from 30 to 25, removed the ATGM from the T80BK as in real life, PKT coaxial MG added instead, price decreased from 300 to 285, removed the ATGM from the T80BVK as in real life, PKT coaxial MG added instead, price decreased from 325 to 310, increased the T80BVK's availability per card from 1 to 2, number of cards have been changed accordingly. I want to stress at this point you have no idea how many times I'm having to stop and restart this recording due to how muddled this is getting me at time. However, it has now become an epic challenge for me to finish it. So, increase the FLASFL 23-4 Shilka's availability per card from 4 to 6, number of cards changed accordingly. Decreased all the BRDM Strela 1's prices from 65 to 60, increased the MI24 DAA's veterancy from Vet 2 to Vet 3, decreased the Soviet MI24P's price from 190 to 170 on par with the DDR counterpart, decreased the DDR MI24P 82 price from 225 to 190, decreased the Soviet Mi-24 V80 price from 220 to 180, decreased the Soviet Mi-8 TB price from 140 to 130, decreased the Soviet Mi-8 MT Gov's price from 130 to 110, decreased the Soviet Mi-8 MT Rocket 2 price from 145 to 125, decreased the Mi-26 price from 200 to 185, increased the Mi-26 availability per card from 1 to 2, decreased the Soviet MiG-23 MLDAA's price from 210 to 195, decreased the DDR MiG-23 MF-AT's price from 150 to 140, increased the DDR MiG-23 MF-AT's availability from 3 to 4, increased the DDR MiG-23 MLAA availability per card from 2 to 3, decreased the DDR MiG-21 BIS AA2's price from 175 to 155, decreased the DDR MiG-21 Rocket 1 price from 145 to 140, decreased the DDR MiG-21 Rocket 2's price from 175 to 160, increased the DDR MiG-23 MFHA's availability from 2 to 3, decreased the MiG-25 BM seed price from 285 to 265, decreased the MiG-25 RBF's price from 285 to 260, decreased the MiG-27M Napalm price from 240 to 215, increased the MiG-27M AT's availability per card from 2 to 3, decreased the Su-17M4 rocket price from 210 to 195, increased the Su-17M4 rocket availability from 2 to 3, decreased the Su-22M4K AT's availability per card from 4 to 3, decreased the Su-24M Napalm price from 325 to 270, decreased the Su-24 MPC's price from 230 to 215, decreased the Su-25 HE price from 255 to 225, decreased the Su-25 Napalm's price from 250 to 225, increased the Su-25 rocket price from 150 to 160, decreased the Su-25 rocket experience vet from Vet 2 to Vet 1, decreased the Su-25 AT price from 230 to 210, decreased all the Mi-2 price variants by -5, decreased the Mi-24K's optics from exceptional to very good, price decreased from 270 to 250, The 39th Infantry Division decreased the DDR MiG-23 MFHE's availability per card from 3 to 2 on par with this plane's availability in other divisions. The 79th replaced the T-80 UK, which didn't exist in that form at that time, with a card of more numerous T-80 BKs. The 79th also decreased the T-80U's number of cards from 4 to 1. They also get 3 cards of the T-80UD. And last but not least, the KDA removed 1 card of BRDM2 Conkers. Please note, the following issues are known to us. The British L85A1 assault rifle model is missing its scope. Oh my god, my throat is very sore. Eugen, why do you hate me? Now, normally I would go through and re-record any bits in these videos that I'm like, oh, that was a terrible mistake, or that's not loud enough, or whatever. I'm just going to leave it as it is, because that was ridiculously long. I mean, I've just talked for what to you guys will be 35 minutes. What to me is actually more like an hour with the mistakes I've made. I've then had to delete a bit and re-record it because of the amount of decrease and increase changes in this list. Oh, wow. Well, I'm proud of myself for finishing it, if nothing else. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope this was nice for those of you who prefer to listen than go and read the patch notes. But yeah, that is what it is. So thanks very much for listening. And I'll see you all later for a look at the British deck in more detail.